I'm Joseph Brooks, and this is Lawyer in the Kitchen. Welcome to Lawyer in the Kitchen. Tonight we're going to make the easiest dish I've ever made, and I want to thank Aline Shaw, whose recipe I've actually stolen. I've changed a couple things, so I looked at a couple of other folks' recipe, and really, only thing I'm doing, I'm substituting ketchup with yellow mustard, just regular old French's yellow mustard, which is really good. It's a great taste. Everything else is the same, and this is an easy dish, and it's called Brazilian chicken stroganoff. The easiest dish you'll ever make. Everybody will want some, I promise you. This will be a great dish for you to cook. Simple ingredients, okay? Boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Now, the original recipe says to use chicken breasts. I still haven't learned how to cook a chicken breast that tastes tender and moist. I don't know how people do that. I still don't know. So I've got the skinless, boneless thighs. I've got garlic, medium onion, 15 ounces of tomato sauce, some mushrooms, which is a different ingredient from the actual recipe, but I like these, so I use them, and then of course salt and pepper. So now we're going to chop. I've already started, and we're going to chop up these thighs into cubes. You need a sharp knife for this, obviously. This is a good shape right here, about like this. Just enough so it cooks nicely. I leave this fat on. Why? Because fat tastes good, and it's going to taste good in this dish. It's time to use the butter in the skillet. We're going to get this nice and hot. Not smoking, but just enough to get this started. We're going to put the chicken in there. We're going to salt and pepper it after we get it in the pan, get it nice and cooked, and then we're going to start adding the mushrooms and the onion and the garlic and the rest of the ingredients, and then it'll all cook together. It's a very fast cooking dish. So we put our cubed chicken in a bowl. We're just going to add some salt and pepper to that while we're waiting for our skillet to warm up. And that's a nice sizzle. We're going to add just a little more salt and pepper so it's evenly dispersed. That should be enough. Little pepper. And we're just going to let this brown. What do you think, Sharon? Good?
Good.
She's shaking her head. And this time she's speaking. Okay, that's a yes. Did I get that right? That's not no, it's yes. Yes. The original recipe doesn't have the mushrooms, but I think stroganoff needs mushrooms. The next thing we're going to do is the garlic, and then these two wet ingredients, and then the cream, which is actually a wet ingredient as well. So here comes the tomato sauce. That could be all over the kitchen. And then the mustard. You can use one of these spoons like this. That works.
It's awfully handy.
Just, oh, you're good. This is just how easy this dish is. We're in the final steps. We're going to add the garlic. I would like to do this at the end. We're going to add the heavy whipping cream, and we're going to let it cook about 2-3 more minutes. The garlic will have time to be flavorful. I'm sure fragrant. Fragrant. Start this over. Fragrant. Fragrant. It'd be very, very fragrant.
It's the Elmer Fudd version.
Elmer Fudd said to be very, very fragrant. And we're going to get the rest. We're not going to waste any of this garlic because garlic is good. This is sizzling along nicely. The mushrooms look great. The onions are absolutely translucent. It's time to put the final touch which is the cream. And this is what's going to make it very rich. And it's going to change that red sort of to a peach. And that's a beautiful, this is going to taste great. What do you think about this, Sharon? You've had this before.
It's fabulous.
Okay, so depending on how much Seth puts in here about Elmer Fudd, this is Elmer Fudd, okay? I mean, that just happens. All right, so we're going to use the rice. And I have a separate video on how to make this. This is nice and fluffy basmati rice. It's very easy to make, honestly. You know, there are all kinds of ways to cook rice. There's measuring and all that, but you know, a lot of chefs don't measure anything. And except for one thing, you know, just this much water above the top of the rice. So check out Teddy's Chop Suey. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is Brazilian chicken stroganoff. Again, this recipe comes from Aline Shaw. I've just done a couple of modifications, not much. Just add a couple of my additions that I like. But this is a simple, easy, fantastic recipe. This stuff tastes great.